Damn. Yeah. Watch out, y'all. Back at it again. The Sherry and Zay Show. Hey guys. Welcome back to our channel.
As new parents of a newborn.
Oh my god.
Of a beautiful baby. She's so beautiful. I mean, look at her mother.
She's so good. Get her father, okay?
Before we get to this video,
like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram at Isaiah_the model.
and follow me at Lashira Monet.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget to shop Nasty Apparel. March the 20th. I think I walked to Target. That walk was about 30 minutes.
All the ladies out there, walking is just fine to do while pregnant.
The last couple of months was hard walking because every time I walked or been on the treadmill at the gym, I felt her like down in my
In the pelvic area.
yeah, it hurt, felt like lightning. So I think that's what like helped me go into labor too, but that wasn't intentional. And 2 days after that, I ate some Ritas. He got me this big tall cup of cotton candy Ritas.
Her favorite.
I was exhausted and I couldn't even put on my shoes.
Bit tired. And
Everything was tight.
me and Holly came back from our run and I was woken up to.
Yeah, it was like 2
Man, I think my water
o'clock in the morning.
Man, I think my water broke.
And I was like,
I'm like, oh my goodness.
I was like, am I peeing on myself? And I stood up right away because I didn't want to get the bed wet. And I looked and I was like, all right, it's not stopping. So what was funny was, once my water broke, I immediately was like, babe, should I take a shower?
Instantly I woke up and was like, babe, are you having contractions?
And I was hoping that you didn't think it was a prank because I did prank you before.
Right.
Yeah.
Insert that prank. You know, I told her after that prank, I was like, babe, no matter how many times you prank me, I'm gonna take it serious every time.
Definitely called the midwife.
And they advised us to come in.
My bag and her hospital bag was packed, but Dad, I've been telling him for weeks to pack his hospital bag.
Need that hospital bag.
Once you hit that 3rd trimester and you're getting at 9 months, it's like, this could happen any day now. Now I'm nervous. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, something's happening. What? We got the car seat, we got the big bag. Best part, we went to the emergency room, we got pushed directly through.
Once they hooked me up to the monitor and all of that, she was like, yep, so congratulations, you are in labor and you are having contractions, but they were very minor.
Very
I didn't really feel nothing. They moved us to labor and delivery after I took the corona test. He fell asleep for a couple. You fell asleep in the first room. I took a picture of you. I'll insert that too. First nurse that we met, Camilla, she was amazing.
Camilla said the name. She was definitely very understanding. She was very comforting, and she wasn't very pushy. You know, she said she wanted to do a natural birth, no epidural, no drugs or nothing, and Camilla was all for that.
So it's important to know that you can have a birth plan, like they say, make a birth plan. Oh, you want epidural, you don't, or whatever. That don't mean nothing.
You want to know what really falls into play is your mental discipline and your tolerance for pain, ladies.
And don't feel bad if you go back and renege on what you said you were gonna do.
Right.
Like, it's okay. First they had me on a timer. I'm back for 4 to 6 hours to check my contractions. If they haven't upped, then
is it Pitocin?
Yeah.
Pitocin was just stripping away, enhancing the contractions.
They had to make me Pitocin. We tried everything. I think I got on the bouncy ball. We did the little Cupid shuffle, whatever. We was trying to dance. It just wasn't working.
So she had to get the Pitocin.
Had to get the Pitocin, and the beginning of it, I was like, okay, I can deal with this. All right, it's like little period cramps. All right, And then they just kept upping that thing, and after a while, it was just unbearable.
Yeah.
I remember I was on the floor, crawling. I remember you massaging my back. I remember hugging Camilla. After that, I don't remember nothing.
Yeah, so Camilla was like, yeah, you gotta hit these 2 spots in the lower back as the contraction is contracting. Now I'm in the hospital room at 3 a.m. freaking massaging her lower back as she goes, so I'm falling asleep.
And once that contraction started to come, I shake him real quick. And then they said something about, oh, well, we can give you Stadol.
And by this time, Camilla has left her shift.
Yeah, she's gone by now.
A new nurse and student comes in, and these nurses were, oh, if you're feeling any pain, just let us know and we'll give you the medicine. And each other like, no, we want to And then it got to the point where the contraction, this is when she got on the ground. She got on the ground.
Man, them contractions, whew. I got on the ground. I remember grabbing my braids, like,
grabbing her head, and was crawling up the bed, like.
They came in like, hi, I'm such and such, and I never even looked up to say hi.
Give me medicine.
Give me something now.
She said, well,
and I'm thinking that Stadol was something like Tylenol, ibuprofen, or something. Like if you had period cramps, you take that and it calm it down a little bit.
I don't know why she thought that.
That was a bad idea. I turned into a zombie.
I said, let's keep breathing. No, a few drips later,
she
fell asleep as the Stadol was taking over. She got all woozy, fell asleep. I stepped outside for a moment to catch my breath, to get some fresh air. I come back in from stepping outside for a moment to get some fresh air. Now she's up. It was crazy because before she was all, can't barely stand, help me, this and that. I come back and she's like Superwoman. Standing up straight. Going through the contractions like that. Stayed off. We said before, it's okay if the plan doesn't go as planned.
I had a plan, and the plan was no epidural. That's all we knew was no epidural.
We didn't know about Stadol, so we couldn't say no Stadol. So we know about it now.
Yeah. So I do remember waking up and the midwives come in.
She had fallen off the bed, so I'm holding her. I asked the nurse is over there, and she's explaining to a student how to open up a package and unfold a package while she's over there like straining, falling off the bed. I'm holding. I'm like nurse. It was crazy. But when the midwives came in there, and tightened it up, and it was,
they don't play.
And you could see the clash of the clash of authority. You know what I'm saying? She was hot. She sweated. The midwife says, "Yeah, grab her a rag, wet it with cold water, and put it on her head." The nurse goes and grabs a paper towel and tries to start wetting it. The midwife's like, "No, not a paper towel, a rag." She's like, "Oh, it's no rag." She said, "We'll go and find one." It was crazy to see the clash of authority.
I remember waking up and being like, I gotta use the bathroom, and nobody was listening to me. They were like, "Oh, but we don't want you to have your baby on the toilet." I'm like, "No, I have to use the bathroom."
What?
Like,
and what you had to do?
I had to do number 2 and number 1. And they didn't believe me, so I jumped off the bed and stood and held him. And I literally just started peeing on the floor, like I was out of it, but I just know I was peeing.
Yeah, what you did?
I was, and then I just started pushing while I was standing up, and then got back in the bed, went back out. Then every time the contractions, because that's when the contractions started coming like this. But in between, I was passed out. I'd be like this, wake up like, and yeah, it was. It was like she wasn't moving. I could not feel her moving down. I'm thinking that I'm pushing it, like she's not moving at all. Like,
but no, she's getting closer.
And I was really like getting aggravated.
Like, we see hair.
They was like, we see hair. Her head's right there. You want to feel? So I did like reach in and feel. I felt her head.
Yeah, she did reach in and feel.
And then I went out again, and then I wake back up, and then at this point, her head started pushing through, and it felt like something was just tearing, like ripping, just stabbing. I don't know what that feeling was. And in the moment, I was like, I wish I could just suck her back up and then count to 5 and then do it again. But no, you're dealing with a real life. It ain't like you just say pause.
It was right there. Push, babe, push. I was right there. Yeah, babe, you gotta push. You gotta push. And we were definitely working on the breathing. If you don't know about breathing, breathing very important. 4 count in, 4 count out. He's
a great partner. Like literally, I don't know what I'd have did with that whole week if I was in there by myself. Because remind you, it is a pandemic.
No, a whole week.
All right, so the head started to come, and you know, Dad was already. That was another thing in our birth plan. He delivered her. So I remember hearing the doctors being like, "Okay, Dad, get your gloves on and all of that."
So when they said that, I stepped up quick. Stepped up ready. The doctor was like, "Oh my goodness, have you done it before?" I said, "No, I'm ready though." She said, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get the head out. I'm gonna get the first part of the left shoulder out. I want you to grab. I want you to do the rest. I want you to pull her out. I want you to flip her up onto her mom." I said, "Okay, let's get it." Over time, never push. We look at babe, push. She pushed.
They was like, "Come on, Mama, you can do it."
She get there. The midwife, yo, Dad. I grab her. I pull the rest out. Like,
it was
slap it down on this. Slap it down on the mom. Pat her back real fast. Yeah.
That strength, the strength of a woman, let me tell you, it's
give it up for the ladies.
The strength of a woman, like literally, the feeling of feeling like somebody's stabbing you, but you can't stop. You gotta keep. Oh my God, I can't even explain that feeling.
You did it, babe.
That That was
soldier status, you know.
I was like, I can't go back now. It's like getting on a roller coaster
Shout
for the first time and you afraid. But once you get strapped in and it start going up the thing, you can't just be like, hey, get me off of here. You gotta ride that daggone roller coaster.
And with the pandemic, it was only me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of childbirths had the village. The village there. You know, the village is there. So it was all me. And I want to give a big shout out to the ladies who do it alone.
By themselves. Yeah.
Especially with the pandemic going on right now, no family, whatever. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are the strongest. You guys are the best.
Women are strong. That's a moment, like, if you never knew that you had strength, that's a moment where you find out how strong you really are. When you really have no other choice. It's all worth it once, you know, daddy put baby on your chest.
Yeah.
Literally, she was like pushing up and holding her head sideways and was staring at me. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my baby.
Oh goodness.
And I remember seeing you had a little tear, and I think I started crying a little bit. At this point, I'm torn, you know, literally.
Yeah,
so they stitching me up.
Yeah, the doctor looks at me, she's like, yeah, we're gonna have to stitch her up. While she's stitching her up,
they numbed me first.
Yeah, the big needle. While they're stitching her up, they're like, oh, the bleed is not slowing down.
I was bleeding.
So they go in, they start, you know, putting their fingers in there, feel it, and they feel, I guess a few lumps forming or something, which is called hematoma. But hematoma is just basically a blood clot.
A vessel pop inside.
An erupted vessel underneath the skin. So if someone punches you in the eye and you get a black eye, that's going to be considered a hematoma.
But imagine that.
Right, inside of her vaginal walls.
This is where it all goes downhill. All these anesthesiologists in the room, along with the midwives and the nurses. Like, I felt like it was a whole party. And at this point, I feel like I'm like, what the freak is about to happen to me? Because they was like, all right, so you're losing a lot of blood. They asked him, because I was out of it, you know, about putting me to sleep or getting an epidural for my surgery. All that hard work of pushing out this beautiful baby.
And people who know about epidurals know that the epidurals take away all the feeling.
All the feeling. You're numb.
She ended up having to get an epidural for the procedure. They went in and did surgery on the inside of her.
They took me to the operating room. Mind you, I'm still on the state all. So I'm still going rolling in and out. But at this point, I'm shaking real bad. Like, my body is like, I'm shaking real bad. The student nurses that was there, they were some nice girls. They were like holding my hand and talking to me every time I came back. Like, first of all, getting from one bed to the other one by myself, with them trying to help me and being in 100% pain.
100.
I was hot, and they kept getting these hot freaking blankets and putting them on me. Like, I'm hot already. I'm nervous. I'm shaking. I'm going crazy. And you grabbing hot stuff, putting it on me. Talking about, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. Bad,
while this is going on,
I couldn't even cry.
I couldn't go with her to the surgery, so they asked me, I'm dead tired. They're like,
surgery took about 3 hours.
They're like, yeah, Dad, do you wanna take a nap? We'll take the baby to the nursery, or you can keep the baby. And I was like, you know, honestly, I wanted to keep her, but I was like, yo, I had to be honest with myself, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap. Y'all go ahead and take it to the nursery, you know. So they didn't take it to the nursery, and that turned out to be a good thing. Yeah. Because when Mom got back from surgery, and we found out that baby Naoko had jaundice. And jaundice is a condition with the liver development and early preterm, not premature.
Yeah, so I was 2 weeks early. Exactly. I was 38 weeks. Yeah, just turned 38 weeks and had her.
Preterm baby jaundice is common.
So then the doctors came in, and we had a pediatrician. We had all these doctors coming in, and I'm thinking like, all right, you know, I couldn't even feel nothing. Like, I was just so out of it, because I'm like, all right, I have to do this. So there's just a lot going on. But then when they told us the baby had jaundice, I'm automatically like, what the freak is jaundice? And then they telling me something wrong with my baby. Like, that was and I started crying. Like, we both in there like, this is too much. And this is only the 2nd day. We ain't go to no mommy suite. I didn't walk for 4 days. My legs are strapped up to this daggone circulating blood thingy. Like, my legs were numb. Everything was numb. What happened? I couldn't use the back. Rewind. First of all, before I went into surgery, let me tell you about this catheter. I had to get a freaking catheter, okay? catheter. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. That thing was uncomfortable, and I was really upset about the doctor trying to like push it in there.
I'm gonna let you know what it is now. Catheter helps you pee when you can't pee.
But it has to go in your urethra. Yeah, that was so uncomfortable. I literally like cried, but no tears came out.
I felt for it. I did.
So now we're gonna fast forward back. So yeah, I didn't walk for 4 days. I was in a bed. I didn't eat. I didn't freaking eat.
What? Rewind again.
Rewind. First of all, you can't eat during labor, obviously.
Can't
so
eat, ladies.
I was drinking water and broth.
She was drinking water and broth.
And Jello.
Jello, her favorite was the pudding.
At the labor, you like, oh yeah, I finally get some meals, you know. No, I go to surgery, so I can't really eat. Still,
right, whole time, as soon as she had Naoko, I called and ordered her pizza and wings.
Oh yeah.
And by the time it got there, was just the time that they had came back to tell her that she couldn't eat. Right, I think she got a pizza and a wing.
Right after, while they stitched me up? Or
No.
after they stitched me up?
Yeah, after you were stitched up. And then they came in, was like, no, stop eating. You go to surgery right away.
Yeah.
She was like, stop the press. Stop, this is serious. Drop the slice, ma'am. You're losing blood. The slice. Ma'am, we're gonna give it to you right now. You gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is too much.
So, that's what happened.
In that instance, I just kept saying, you know, I kept praying to myself and stuff, and like, I was just very numb to everything in the beginning. I was tired, but I didn't get any sleep because I'm in pain.
For the people out there, I think the dads don't go through it. We go through it. Okay?
Yeah, Dad. It was a lot on him going through all of this. And you got a baby in the nursery, your girlfriend's on the operating table. You just like, I'm helpless. No, it was like a serious like. We're upbeat now, but like it was like really.
Yeah, it was a little stressful.
It was a long week.
Stress, you know. It was a long week.
We cried. I was like, my eyes were puffy for days.
I almost wilded out. So many people at that hospital, you know, I was
But every time they brought her to the room, I got excited. I was like, oh, my baby.
It was all worth it, yeah.
And then they talked to me about like, you know, milk supply by me losing so much blood. I didn't have milk right away. And they tried to do the breastfeeding thing, because that was another part of my birth plan, breastfeeding. She's not going to no formula. I don't care what you say. Breastfeeding. If we got to go get milk from another mother, we're going to get it. There's nothing wrong with formula.
That good potent nutrients into your baby.
But for me, I've been in a doctor's office and like reading about breastfeeding. I was reading all the pros and I was like, oh, I hope I get some milk.
And breastfeeding, while she's breastfeeding, she can feel everything being pulled back together.
Which is weird, and it doesn't feel good, but it does. It's like the baby's feeding and your body is like sucking itself back to normal. Kind of, it's really weird. Breastfeeding is something you gotta get used to, because a lot of people don't do it because of the uncomfortable feeling and stuff. So, but I didn't have milk until probably the 3rd day, and I had like this much in a cup that I pumped, which was fine because the baby's stomach isn't big at first. What is it, like a little blueberry?
Yes. For
the first couple of days. So after that, they just kept like getting us all excited, like, oh yeah, your baby jaundice levels are going down, so we're gonna bring her up here to see you. And it's like every time they took off the light and took her back, the freaking levels went back up high. So it was just like really making me upset.
Yeah, I was getting a bit upset too. I was like, yo,
like, just stop taking her off the freaking light.
Thank you for letting us see her. It was awesome. But,
so, yeah. But in the midst of that, I had to get a CT scan.
Right.
Probably the 3rd day, I think. So I think like the 3rd day, I had to get a CT scan. Wanted to make sure that nothing ruptured still.
Yes. And that was the cool part of the identifying rather the hematoma was serious or, you know, it was still serious, but majorly serious or minor. And by them putting that dye and the CAT scan, they could see that the blood vessels that the dye ran through within the vaginal walls were small ruptured ones and not big ones. So they knew that they could just go in there and sew it up and pack it and let it heal on its own, somewhat heal on its own. So
getting good news back from that, I still had to go back into surgery to get the
to close up the hematoma. The first time was to go in and remove it.
Yeah, okay. And then I had to get the CT scan and then go back into surgery.
Yeah, get the CT scan to make sure that they could just burn it. When they burn it,
oh yeah,
cancerized.
Yeah.
They had to make sure that the vessels were small enough for them to burn.
Right.
Which they were. So they burnt the ones that were ruptured, and then they sewed it back up and packed it.
Right. But so with the second surgery, you know what that means? One more epidural.
Another epidural. So now we went from
no epidural.
Doing good with no epidural at all. Pushing maybe not to 2.
After like 4.5 days of not walking, when they came back after the second surgery, or maybe it was the 5th day, they had took the gauze out. So when they took the gauze out, they still left the catheter in because they wanted to monitor and make sure nothing, you know, happened or whatever. The 5th day is when they took the catheter out, and then this is when I had to learn how to walk after not walking for 4 days. And when I tell you, it was painful.
Ooh.
It was.
She had been laying down for a long time.
I had to take medicine around the clock.
It was a pretty rough.
It was a really rough week. And then we finally moved in a mommy suite, and it just was like not glamorous. Like at that point, I was just like,
she was like,
I'm
oh my
over
God,
it.
it's my natural light. I'm just ready to
no natural light.
I'm just ready to go. We ended up leaving Monday.
We went
Sunday
Monday
night
to Sunday
night.
And we were just excited at that point. Like, oh, but we did when we moved to the mommy suite. We did have her in the room. We got to have her in the room the whole time, but she was under the light.
That was the nice part that they were able to bring the UV light into the mommy suite compared to the labor and delivery suite that we were in so long due to surgeries where they had to bring her over for a short period of time.
But it's all worth it because she's healthy, and we created a beautiful baby, and God blessed us.
As we know that you were waiting to see the experience after seeing the amazing baby shower video.
Yeah, I'm just happy that they took care of me, and
happy, grateful,
and
blessed. Super
blessed. My mom, my grandmother, aunts, siblings, cousins, my Instagram friends, everybody. We were all lifted in prayer, and 1 month later, we're here. Baby's gaining weight. She is like a busybody. And she's only a month old. Like, she's very strong.
Very strong. Very strong.
Mind you, she came out pushing up already, like doing push-ups, I guess.
Because daddy don't play.
I'll just say, you can have a birth plan. Go in there with an open mind. And, you know, be strict about what you want and what you believe in.
Be stern.
And if you don't have a support person, figure out something that keeps you calm. Music. We had the floor jamming with the
music going the whole
playlist.
Music
everybody heard it.
Also, and you guys know that you are in control.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we got through everything that we said we were gonna say. Alright guys, we're gonna catch you in our next video.